Okay, so yes, the audio should be better now. I still got a lot of testing to do, but I think for like episodes, I may have to turn myself down, and for videos like this, turn it up a little bit, because yeah, these videos, yeah, I can, yeah, at least, yeah, have the audio playing louder. Anime, it's like there's certain like music that be playing, OSTs. I can't be playing all that now. Um, but yes, hopefully it should be better for you guys. Um, and yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, the memorial movie, yeah, I think it was Fate Grand Order's like 8th anniversary or something. So yeah, if you guys want to, you can go check that out. It's up. And I should be looking at an analysis video too. Yeah, I got that from Saya, so hopefully that should be up soon. Yeah, I know I haven't. Last week was just crazy. Like, yeah, no uploads, no nothing. I mean, yeah, I was surprised myself. I'm like, I do not have no time for nothing. But hopefully this week should be a little bit more light. Should have a little bit more time to do stuff. So I would just pre-record whatever I can right now while I got the time. But yes, what was it? Oh yeah, heroic spirits. Yeah, that's what we're looking at today. Magecraft. Yep. So yeah, let's just see what he has to say about these heroic spirits. I don't got much else to say, so I hope you guys will enjoy this. Make sure you like, subscribe, and yeah, I hope you guys still can enjoy this compared to the other area I had. Yeah, I know it's a new area, new audio, new stuff, different things going on, but yeah, hopefully you guys can still enjoy this. And let's just get this reaction started.
In our previous lesson, I covered Spiritrons, which are
Yeah.
widely considered to be the future of Magecraft.
Spiritrons.
It is an interesting aspect of the craft because it demonstrates how mages can be innovative beyond their traditional practice. The same goes for today's lesson, Heroic Spirits. These entities on their own aren't the work of mages, but through complex spellcasting, mages have found ways of harnessing them as servants. Previously, I mentioned heroic spirits with regard to familiars, but now is the time to explore their true nature and how mages have taken
Their
advantage of this
true
bizarre
nature.
planetary system. Thankfully, you should be well informed about our planet by now, namely that the planet's will, Gaia, acts to protect itself from various threats, giving rise to nature spirits like elementals and true ancestors. These forces aim to protect the planet in part from the meddling of humans. And yet, ironically, humans are a part of the planet as well.
Yes.
Thus, we have Alaya, the aspect of our planet's
Yeah,
will
we
that
call
works to
his own
protect humanity
demise.
through a power we call the Counterforce. With that understanding, it can be said that heroic spirits are spiritual bodies implemented by the planet in order to protect the human order. In many ways, this means protecting humanity from itself, using heroes to avert warfare atrocities that would extinguish us altogether. To our detriment, this also includes preventing mages from reaching the root and obtaining the tremendous power of true magic. Perhaps the greatest threats to humanity, however, are the beasts.
Okay, yeah, here we
spoke
go.
before of divine constructs and the divine spirits they belong to. Alaya grants power to gods and godly artifacts based on human worship, and yet we humans are far from benevolent. We are petty, hateful, and afraid of ourselves, often responding to that fear through oppression and persecution. In other words, humanity has its own evils, and by nature, these evils are impossible to ignore. The beasts of humanity, then, are the manifestations of these evils. They, above all else, spur the counterforce to summon heroic spirits to fight them. It is a threat both birthed from and resolved by humanity. On a more technical level, let us explore what a heroic spirit actually is.
Well,
If
let's
a
find
god or
out.
divine spirit can be born from mankind's worship, then it isn't too hard to imagine that heroes and their everlasting legends hold a sort of power as well. Both fame and infamy serve to elevate certain humans above the rest, and Alaya keeps a record of these legends through what is called the Throne of Heroes, a location beyond our world's space and time. In its effort to protect humans, the Counterforce will summon these heroes as spiritual beings and task them with fighting certain threats. These heroes can either be people who truly existed throughout history, or heroes merely described in legends with no real-world counterpart. These two types even intermingle, as a famous historical figure may find themselves gifted with new powers or detriments, based on how their legends were embellished or dramatized throughout the years. The more ancient or renowned the legend, the stronger the heroic spirit recorded into the throne. Sometimes this recording is consensual, with a given hero pledging themselves to the planet in or at the end of their life. These spirits are utilized as counter-guardians, and are more likely to be summoned throughout the ages.
Yep, the
Their
biggest
jobs
example
often
right
entail
there.
assassinating dangerous individuals to turn the tide of history, a burdensome task that can mentally take its toll on a hero.
Actually, is there like
Many
a...
heroes harbor regrets.
I would love to see just Emiya, like just...
bargaining chip when contracting
Yeah,
with the
actually
planet.
just doing a
In
task, you
exchange for a
know?
hero's opportunity to pursue those desires, they
As his,
accept
like,
jobs from the
you know,
planet
spirit
until their
form or...
regrets are subdued.
Yeah, his
The
heroic
role
spirit
of hero
form.
need not be applied exclusively to humans either. As
Yeah, just
famous
doing
animals,
tasks,
machines,
counter guardian
even
and all,
concepts
just...
can be passed down through human legend.
Yeah, being him.
Because the Throne of Heroes exists independently from our temporal axis, it means that heroes of the past can be summoned to the present or even the future. Inversely, heroes who gain fame or contract with the planet in the future may find themselves summoned into the past. Given that we are now talking about time travel, it's worth reminding you that there are various timelines the universe maintains. Theoretically, if a hero from the future becomes recorded into the throne and is summoned to the past, they may find themselves able to change the course of history that originally led to their own heroic deeds and fame. Rather than causing some form of temporal paradox, this simply indicates that heroes are being summoned to and from different timelines. There are certainly cases where heroic spirits we encounter have come from timelines that no longer exist, parallel worlds they can no longer return to. It is worth noting that the worlds I've previously referred to as extra worlds operate in an incredibly similar way, with the Moon Cell automaton functioning almost identically to the Throne of Heroes. Naturally, there are some differences between the two, but that is not the focus of today's lecture.
Okay, never seen that
the Throne of
before.
Heroes, despite existing to prevent evil,
She
also
looks like
records the
someone,
legends of
but
famous villains or
I ain't even gonna say
anti-heroes.
nothing.
This is because, despite their evils, these spirits still have their use. While rare, villains have on occasion saved people through their villainy. In other cases, their intentions may be pure, but their actions corrupt. Regardless, their fame is just as potent, and under the right context, they may choose to help humanity rather than condemn it. A process also exists for summoning heroes who traditionally aren't famous enough to manifest on their own. Rather, by combining various smaller legends into a single entity, a composite heroic spirit known as a phantom spirit can be summoned. This process needn't be limited just to phantoms, however. High servants are also heroic spirits comprised of various legends, not necessarily weak ones. Despite being called spirits, these heroes are not invincible when summoned. While their bodies are indeed material, this is only a projection fueled by mana. As such, servants don't require food in a traditional sense, so long as they have means of replenishing their mana. When a heroic spirit's body is damaged, it may indeed show on their body, but what truly receives damage isn't the body at all. Rather, it's their spiritual core that truly matters. When a hero's recording in the throne manifests in the world
That
as a heroic
is actually
spirit, their form is built upon a spiritual
something I
core
never
that serves as
knew.
their foundation.
Unless
These
I
cores are the
forgot.
key parts allowing heroes to manifest, and should they be destroyed,
Nah,
the heroes
yeah.
lose their bodies and must return to the throne.
I didn't
This
know. Yeah,
means you
their
cannot
whole
necessarily
core.
tell the vitality of a heroic spirit from the state of their body. Damage that looks severe may not be, and by the same token, damage doesn't need to be visibly apparent to be fatal. Quite similar to the spiritual core is the Saint Graph, which can be metaphorically likened to a heroic spirit's heart. It contains a spirit's various properties, as well as the memories they gain while summoned. It is another aspect of a heroic spirit that, when damaged, can prove fatal. In the case of composite spirits such as high servants, their various components all share a single Saint Graph. The highest rank of heroic spirit is the Grand Servant, a position reserved
Grand.
exclusively for heroes thought capable of opposing the beasts.
I never heard of
Their
that.
potential strength is on an entirely different scale than conventional heroes, implying that the typical heroic spirit may actually be restrained from using their full might. Technically, this means that Grand Servants have a stronger saint graph than other heroic spirits. While this has reduced the power of most spirits, it has also allowed for a larger variety of heroes to qualify as the planet's protectors. Naturally, candidates able to become Grand Servants have more strict requirements. Mainly, they have to be considered the strongest beings of their respective eras.
Naturally,
The
yeah.
different classes of heroic spirits also have their own unique requirements. Casters, for instance, must possess potent clairvoyance. Despite being the ultimate protectors of humanity, a condition required to hold such power is to only serve Alaya, never using their full potential in service of any one group or individual human. This means that Grand Servants cannot use their greatest abilities to aid organizations like Chaldea, even though Chaldea also fights to protect humanity. The moment a Grand Servant does so, they lose their Grand status and become substantially weaker thereafter. Inversely, a Grand Servant can indeed assist Chaldea, so long as they do so at standard capacity. Thus far, we have spoken of heroic spirits with regard to their primary use as humanity's protectors. However, when devising methods of reaching the root, mages have found ways of using heroic spirits for their own individual gain as powerful familiars. It is in this context especially that we refer to a heroic spirit as a servant, a familiar of the highest rank. Put bluntly, when mages summon servants, they are abusing the counterforce, using it to summon heroic spirits from the throne of heroes,
So
and
they're
then
abusing
using their
it.
own mana to tether these spirits to our world.
Okay,
In this
well,
regard, servants are only familiars
it's
in
definitely
name,
good to know.
as they can easily overpower their masters.
yeah, just a little bit that I didn't know
Mages have developed complex
to
command
tell me, like,
spells
yeah,
to
they're
control their
actually
servants,
not
but
supposed to
those are
really be
limited
doing
in
this.
both number and scope.
I mean, they can
are
do
better
whatever,
used
but,
in
you know.
cooperation with the servant as additional power, rather than against them. As such, most servants contract with their masters for mutual benefit, rather than blind subservience. This is sad, given that the original purpose of servants was inherently exploitative. The Heavens Feel ritual, also known as the Holy Grail War, was a process designed by the Ainsburn, Makiri, and Tosaka
Yeah.
families as a means of reaching the root. They would use an enormous spell called the Greater Grail to essentially trick the counterforce into helping mages summon servants. The planet does most of this work, putting down the required mana to comprise the servant spirit cores. The mages only need to maintain that connection. The idea of pitting servants against each other for the chance to obtain the Holy Grail as a wish-granting device was only an excuse to gather mana. The Grail
So
they
that's
fought
it,
so hard
yeah.
to obtain was nothing more than a
Oh, yeah,
receptacle
yeah.
for mana that collected the servants before their fallen bodies could return to the throne.
I thought he meant something else, but
Certainly, this
yeah,
gathered
that's the
mana would
natural
prove useful
thing.
to the
Yeah.
surviving masters and servants. But mages hoping to reach the root would be doing so by standing upon and crushing the hopes and dreams of their servants.
Yeah.
Thankfully, this is not the only means of summoning and utilizing servants. The Chaldea Security Organization, for instance, built its own system for summoning servants known as Fate. Far more robust than Fuyuki's Greater Grail, Fate allows Chaldean masters to summon and maintain multiple servants at a time. Rather than for selfish gain, these servants are used for their original purpose, protecting the human order. This means that even heroic spirits summoned by the counterforce may find it beneficial to contract with a Chaldean master, as their goals are more or less the same. Chaldea even keeps its own record of servant saint graphs, allowing for repeated summoning of the same servant should their core be destroyed. Sadly, there are also servants summoned to the planet's detriment, with beasts of humanity like Getia planting their own holy grails into history for what we consider to be nefarious means. As previously stated, heroic spirits are more or less limited in their potential when summoned. One of these limitations is a servant's class, which helps narrow down the scope of their abilities. By default, there are
Yeah, you
7
gotta be
main
specific
classes:
class, yeah.
Saber, Archer, Lancer, Rider, Assassin, Caster, and Berserker. A heroic spirit may qualify for multiple classes based on their legend and abilities. But when summoned as a servant, they are typically limited to just one.
Okay,
Each class has its
so
own strengths and weaknesses,
they're
such as
limited.
archers possessing independent action from their masters, and assassins possessing presence concealment to compensate for their weaker combat prowess. Sabers and lancers specialize in close range
yeah, I already know
combat,
about it.
while casters benefit from
Oh,
being
that
able to
basic
establish
stuff.
their own territories. Riders, of course, are summoned
Yeah, simply
alongside their
just
famous mounts.
riding
The class
beasts
system
and
is not
stuff.
set in stone, however. There have been instances where mages or other entities have summoned servants into unique classes, and other cases where an unclassified servant is designated a class for the sake of formality. These are the extra classes, and while we've encountered the likes of rulers, avengers, alter egos, foreigners, shielders, saviors, gunners, and even fakers, there really is no limit to
Yeah,
how
I only
many
know like
classes may
what
emerge in the future.
fakers and
In exceptionally rare
rulers.
cases, a
That's
servant may
it.
possess a skill that grants them effective use of two classes, even though officially they are only one. Oftentimes, servants may choose to go by these class titles rather than their true names in order to conceal their
Oh
identity.
yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can't
Knowing a
reveal
servant's
none of
legend
that.
can prepare opponents not only with advanced knowledge of their abilities, but also any major weaknesses. The most famous of these would be Achilles, a hero legendarily invincible, with the exception of his mortal heel.
Yeah,
In some
just
cases,
at one spot.
servants may even want to hide their identities from their own masters. After all, even if a servant is typically summoned in their prime, they may still retain weaknesses indispensable to their legends. In general, servants are able to hide their physical bodies by entering spirit form, which is useful for mages who want to conduct their affairs discreetly. After all, Magecraft is meant to be kept secret.
Yeah,
A servant's
you don't want nobody
physical body
else
can be quite peculiar,
like
and that
humans
parts of the
just
body may
knowing about
remain
all
in the
that.
world long after returning to the throne of heroes. So long as enough mana is provided, even something like a servant's arm or leg can remain from a fallen servant. While extremely dangerous given the compositional structure of a servant's body versus a human's, it is technically possible to transplant a servant's appendages or organs onto a human host, allowing them to survive while inheriting severe side effects.
Okay.
For instance,
Look at
because
my
heroic
boy
spirit Emiya
Shiro.
is compatible with his human counterpart Shiro, it is possible for Shiro to live on using Emiya's arm. Without a mystic code like the Shroud of Martine, however, Shiro runs the risk of having his body torn asunder by Emiya's inhuman might. The same can be said for the homunculus Sieg, who inherits the heart of the servant Siegfried. While this grants Sieg the power of a servant, it takes its toll by slowly converting the boy into a dragon. Other bodily peculiarities include a servant's need for mana. Once summoned, they are generally dependent upon their master's mana, and without it, they may resort to consuming mana through other means such as bodily fluids and human souls. While they don't need to eat, servants can still derive some small amount of mana from doing so. Because this food is converted into mana, servants have no need to expel waste, but they can find themselves under the influence of alcohol or other toxins. While they need not sleep, they can choose to do so as a form of mana conservation. During this process, dreams serve as an intimate way for masters and servants to inherit each other's memories.
Oh
With
yeah,
enough
those
mana,
dreams.
It is possible for servants to remain in the world and essentially live a second life. This can be done by powerful mages, and in other cases, servants can find themselves reincarnated as mortals, only requiring mana to access their servant abilities. In order to function as humanity's protectors, heroic spirits are given basic knowledge of the time to which they are summoned. This includes any human languages spoken in that era, making servants multilingual. This also includes knowledge of the Holy Grail War, but sadly not the war's true purpose.
Yeah, they don't
It
know
is said
nothing
that
about
servants lose
that.
their memories after being summoned.
That's the
but we have
unfortunate thing
evidence to
about
believe
it.
Otherwise. Servants occasionally recall their past incarnations as moments of deja vu, or in the case of Chaldea documenting spirit graphs, servants can accumulate memories so long as those graphs remain intact. There are also certain instances where a heroic spirit may share their saint graph with a human vessel. Demi-servants, for example, are humans who can utilize the power of heroic spirits. Pseudo-servants are a similar case, where a heroic spirit possesses a human's body. Most frequently, this is done so that gods, who are normally too powerful to be contained in a saint graph, can still manifest as servants by using a human vessel to limit their divinity. Each instance of these servant-human hybrids is unique, with the servant's consciousness either controlling, deferring to, or merging with their human hosts. Another anomaly with servants is that they can be summoned in different forms, with exaggerated or isolated parts of their legends. Namely, this is seen in altar servants, who are heroic spirits summoned with shifted powers and personalities. For the altars, this shift tends to be more malicious. Lily servants, on the other hand, are a more youthful variation of a given hero, and are often more innocent. Through Caldea's fate system, servants can even alter their own saint graphs, effectively allowing them to change classes. Lastly, I wish to speak of how a servant is actually summoned. Because the
Yeah,
Younger
okay.
Force is responsible for much of
Yeah,
the
I was like,
work,
is he gonna
a
go
proper
into
ritual for
detail with
summoning a servant
that?
isn't always required. In such cases, mages, even those who have no clue of their magical lineage or potential, may wind up summoning servants that are most compatible with their nature. A major factor that determines which servant a master summons is a catalyst, an
Yeah.
object or artifact tied
Catalyst.
to a given hero's legend.
That
It's
give you
worth
that
noting,
higher
however, that,
chance.
with or without a catalyst, there's no guarantee a master
Yeah.
and their servant will get along, even if their personalities wind up being similar. Thus, the summoning ritual itself merely gives a master more control over the resulting servant. It is through the ritual that a mage can modify the nature of their servant, such as aiming for an altar form or adding madness to them. The quality of the ritual can affect the quality of the servant, which is why some mages conduct the ritual when their magical potential is at its peak. The formal chant allows for these modifications, but all that is really required is a master calling out for help nearby a magic circle. Caldea's fate system is special, in that it utilizes Galahad's shield, Lord Camelot, which was made from the Round Table, a place known to be where heroes gather. In
I
that
need to know
regard,
more about that
Galahad's
too.
shield is a
Round
portable
table.
summoning terminal, requiring only a potent mana ley line to function. In summation, heroic spirits are the recorded legends of heroes throughout history, summoned forth by the planet to protect humanity against threats, the largest of which being the beasts of humanity. This system the planet uses has been hijacked by mages in order to summon heroic spirits as their own familiars. While at first deceitful, mages have found ways of harnessing the power of servants toward mutually beneficial goals. By protecting the human order, servants have found their summons to be a welcomed chance to address the shortcomings of their lives. For many, it is a chance for redemption or further glory. Now, one thing I have intentionally avoided discussing is a servant's greatest strength, their noble phantasms. I've held off on this, in lieu of discussing it in our next lesson.
Next one. Okay. And seems like that is now it for this one. Noble phantasms, yeah. Gotta see how powerful they really are. So now that kind of changes everything, because yeah, I don't think they really said all of that. Like I know they were put in certain classes, but I never actually thought like, okay, hold up, what if they were actually more powerful than a saber? I never thought of that. I just thought saber or Artoria being just simply saber class. She's good at close range because that's just kind of how she was. In her legend and all in the past. But no, she could have been a saber, lancer, rider. I mean, she could have been literally like all of them, except for like 2 or 3 classes. And even at that, it's like it doesn't even have to be those main classes. Like she could have just been something completely different outside of that. So yeah, that changes up things. And then also yeah, it's unfortunate they do not know about the Holy Grail. Yeah. Because like you're literally being, it's like your legend is just basically being like disrespected, like how could I put it? Like in a way to where it's like you're being used, like you're better than this, and you're just being used. You're being commanded to do things that is literally beneath you. Like Gilgamesh, he's not going for that. And for example, like Iskandar, King of Conquerors, that's like beneath him having to help someone out, do this or that. It just depends, what the person, who is masters or something. but kind of just beneath. Like he was literally king of conquerors, you know. Like he's really out here conquering these places, doing this, doing that, you know. And for him to just get reduced down to just being like a servant and having to fight in this war where he really isn't, I guess you could say, really needed like that. You know, all they need him to do is just supply mana, you know? Like they're getting this mana from other um, masters and servants. That's all it is, you know? Yeah. So beforehand, yeah, I thought he meant something else, but no, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, once I found out, I think it was um actually Fate Zero. It was either Fate Zero or Unlimited Blade Works where I really like saw, like, yeah, I didn't know much about the Grail back then, but like around, I think Fate, yeah, I think it was Unlimited Blade Works, I started really understanding the Grail, and I'm like, really, all I'm seeing is no matter what, all seven masters and servants, they're not gonna have a chance to get this wish off. It's literally going to be like one, because they literally need all of that mana. They just need all of that, you know, in order to fill it up, and then, you know, here's your wish. Um, and in certain cases, like, you know, Fate Zero, yeah, there's so much Fate going on, but in like Fate Zero, you could have Gilgamesh, Kide, Kiritsugu, and Saber. You know, they were still all up and moving about, and the wish still, you know, yeah, well, not the wish, but basically, you know, whatever happened, happened, you know, with the Grail. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, it's just so much fate. I'm like, wait, was it a wish? um, but yeah, it's just the unfortunate thing. Um, just yeah, knowing you're better than that, knowing that you are better than just going against these servants, knowing that you're not just a rider, you know, because rider, that always seems like just the weakest class to me, and I know it's not. Like it's like they are definitely way better um, than what they seem. Like yeah, it's not just simply riding on this beast or whatever. Like I know they can do way more than that. But yeah, like I think yeah, isn't it? Yeah, Saber. Like I think it was either her or someone, but I'm pretty sure it was her. It's like, and now I can see what they're, or what you guys and what other people were talking about. Like, yeah, she's just like, why is she weak? You know, like I can clearly see she can do way more. You know, it's like she's definitely way stronger than what I can see, and it's like, okay, yeah, wait, what? Like, you know, you got this going on, that going on. Um, and then things like Berserker, like he Berserker does way too much, and I'm like, he really gets defeated. I know it's like, you know, you got the main character Saber, you know, obviously they gotta still be alive, but Berserker, I'm just looking like there's just no way that you can really defeat him. Like you, I mean, obviously you can defeat him, but like, nah. What I've seen, it's just too much, and the way how they just nerf it down is just crazy. And I can see like, yeah, he's only in that specific class. Like, you know, he has the, I think it was like martial art. I just know he got hands. Um, you know, yeah, definitely good with weapons. So I mean, hey, he could be like a saber. I'm just saying, like he could be a lot more than just berserker. So yeah, I mean, I can kind of see now, like, yeah, why they may seem weaker. And yeah, this is, yeah, that's actually a lot of information too. The core thing, like, you know, if your arm gets taken off, obviously, you know, you can't do much with that. Um, but it's not like you're really feeling that pain. It's really going towards your core. So yeah, that's something I actually did not know. Um, and yeah, when they disappear, yeah, it's not like they're really dying. I mean, they're kind of already dead. They're just going back now. Um, but yeah, that's something else. So okay, so yeah, the damage, yeah, because I'm trying to relate that to like the damage they take, and it's like if they're not really taking damage, I mean they are, but it's like I guess since it does link up to the core, it still like leaves them weak. So yeah, because naturally, if they're not really taking damage, like if this blood is just for show, then yeah, there really shouldn't be any reason why they may be struggling to stand up. After they got hit by a really powerful attack. But no, it still would make sense if yeah their spiritual core is still getting at least weaker. You know, it's not a specific body part, but yeah, still if it's just your core getting weakened, then yeah that would relate. Whatever's happening with your core displays on like your technical main body here. Yeah, let me see this again. Nah, okay, yeah, it looked like someone, but I'm like, I don't even know. Um, and oh yeah, Shido or Emiya, whatever. Oh, dang. Oh, okay, I don't know what happened, but yeah, that would be nice to see. Like just really seeing him in action. Seeing him fulfill his duties, in just this form. Um, I mean, I think there actually might be something on that. I just, yeah, probably never heard of it or something. Yeah, the only thing I've seen was just Unlimited Blade Works, but obviously that's just to show like, where he's been and what he had to do, you know, after turning and all the projection and all changed him. But yeah, it'd be good to see just, I mean, not like a whole anime, but like what I mean, like just simple little I don't even know, just 20 minutes or so, I guess, or less, 10 minutes. Yeah, just seeing like, yeah, what exactly does he have to go against? How difficult um, are his opponents? Um, and yeah, did he become that? What was it hero of justice or whatever that he truly wanted to become? Yeah, become that hero. But yeah, I like this. Yeah, this gives me a lot more insight. Yeah, a lot more. What was it? Grand spirits. He said. Yeah, learning a little bit about that. Yeah, and overall, like, yeah, you're kind of like abusing the system here. You're kind of just forcing them to come out and basically protect humanity, and basically protect you or other people, when the main goal is really something else. But hey, I mean that's up to them. I can't do anything. Um, if they want to summon the servants, they can do whatever. Um, the consequences will probably come later. Maybe. I mean, I obviously can see it hasn't came yet. Um, but overall, yeah, this is definitely informative. But yeah, I think that should be about it. So yeah, Noble Phantasms. That's what we're gonna be looking at next. Yeah, let me just end this off here before it just becomes way too long. But overall, hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe again, and yeah, I'll just see you guys for the Noble Phantasm video.